name's Del Pease. I'm at Lake Ridge. I'm part of the Connections team. The Connections team is it's exactly that, trying to help people to connect with each other. I'm a firm believer that people are made for relationships, and God put his spirit in and said, no, you got to have friends with people. You got to be friends with people. You got to have things in common and hang out together. And so if you're anything like me, you might be missing some of that, and maybe missing some hugs, some handshakes, some face-to-face chats and stuff. And we all are doing that. So it's kind of an odd time. Hey, here's a note to think, though. This is not the first time in history that the church has been unable to meet because of a pandemic. If you go way back to the early church, the 1st and 2nd century, smallpox was going through. It killed many, many people, and the church was not allowed to meet. But if you study kind of the history of the church actually did some of its best work when they were not allowed to meet. When Jesus said, when he was leading his disciples, he said, I'm going to build my church upon this rock, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. He wasn't talking about cement and bricks and mortar and steeples or anything like that. He was talking about people that he was entrusting to do his work, to build this kingdom. And so right now we can't meet together, and it's not fun. Our Connections team can't do the normal things that we get to do, and we miss that. We mourn for that. But here's what I believe, that of the church, when we can't meet right now, this is the church that Jesus talked about. He said, I'm going to build my church. That's us. That's you. That's me. And so right now, I think it's the time for the church to be at its best. This is the church at its very, very best. We can't meet in a building. We can't be all together, but we're dispersed. And you'll see that phrase in the scripture quite a bit. They were dispersed. Why? To go and be the church. And so while we can't have public services, the church is not closed. Just understand that when people say your church is closed, no, it's not. The church is as open as it's ever been. But now we have churches all over. And so we're loving our neighbors, and you can be a part of that. As a Connections team, I want us to be looking out for those who are maybe by themselves, maybe discouraged, maybe lonely, those who have had family members pass away from this terrible disease, those who have really struggled with anxiety and frustration about their mental state. But those are real things, and we don't want to discard those. So this is the time that we can really start caring for them. One thing you might want to do is something that Pat and I have been able to do, is just find 2 or 3 people, drive to their homes, phone them on the phone and say, look out your window, and have a conversation on the phone just to see some people. They know people cares. Or maybe they'll stand on their step and you can stand on the driveway and you can talk to them. It makes such a difference. And we've been able to do that. And it's so good for us. It's so good for them. People say, man, I really needed a visit today. And right now we just need some visits. We need some time, but right now we can't do it. So God is calling us to be the church, a little differently, but the church still, no less the church right now. And so I just encourage us, let's be mindful. Watch and start noticing things. Start noticing the things in creation. I am a bird watcher. I love when the geese fly over. I'm starting to notice that a lot. I'm noticing things in my neighborhood that happens, and I'm starting to pray for those things. Like, this is what we were made for. So don't be discouraged. Be encouraged. Be the person that God wants you to be. And you might think you don't have anything to offer. The best thing you can offer somebody is your presence. You being there, right? You don't have to say anything, just being present. And so I just want to encourage everybody at Lake Ridge, everybody in our community, this is the time for us to shine in Chestermere. And for people to say, man, those people at Lake Ridge, there's something else. They really love, they really care, they really reach out. That's really amazing. So from my wife and I to you, all God's blessings, and keep hanging in there, and we're going to make it through this together. But God is going to do something pretty amazing. And I think the church is going to be strengthened through it, because we are the church. Don't forget that. So, hey, thanks for listening, and I hope you weren't bored. Love you all. Miss you. Can't wait to see you all. Bye-bye.